Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Let's start with the next topic. Okay, from last time we are continuing with the first order logic, and as all of you know, the first order logic is nothing but the another method for the knowledge representation. The first method we have seen that was regarding the proposition logic, and because of some of the major limitations of the proposition logic, we are having the second kind of logic, that is the first order logic. Now, if you see the limitations of the proposition logic, mainly it was not considering the all the things of the world. Like as we have seen, the world consists of the different kind of objects, relations, functions, relation, etc., etc. But the proposition logic we are is focusing only on the some kind of declarative sentences and some specific kind of facts. And to come out of that limitation, we have the second kind of logic, that is first order logic. In the last time already we have seen the syntax, semantics, and the various kind of symbols, connectives being utilized in case of the first order logic. And also we have seen the example and some new kind of symbols which make the which make the first order logic more advantageous as compared to the proposition logic. We have seen the quantifiers concept in case of the first order logic. In that we have seen the two quantifiers, the universal quantifier and the existential quantifiers. And related with that, already we have solved the some examples also, and some examples already I have given you as a homework also. I hope all of you also done that. Now let's see a next point in the first order logic, that is the properties of the quantifiers. Which are the two quantifiers we have discussed? Which are the two types of the quantifiers?
Universal quantifier and existential
Universal
quantifier.
quantifiers and the existential quantifiers. So quantifiers are just like the some special symbols being utilized in the first order logic, okay, to represent the knowledge. Now these are the some common properties of the first order in the first order logic, and the properties of the quantifiers we are having here. Now first property you can see here, if there is a all x all y, then it is same as all y all x. I hope this is understandable. Yes. If there is a something
Yes,
like
sir.
all x all y, then it is same as a all y all x. 2 marks question can be possible on the properties of the quantifier. Then if there is a sum x sum y, then it is also same as sum y sum x. Okay. Then third property we have sum x all y, and it is not same as all y sum x. Okay, this is important to be discussed here. Third one, if there is a sum x all y, now this is not equal to, or this is not same as all y sum x. Now let's see with the example. We'll try to prove this. Okay, how it is not equal to. Okay, now suppose there you can see the example. Okay, what example we are having? Suppose we have write the logic like this: sum x all y loves x comma y. Sum x all y loves x comma y. Now what is the sentence, from which sentence this logic is being written? Yes, from which kind of sentence this logic is written? This FOL can be written. This one, as already we have seen, from the sentences we can write the logic, and if the logic is given, from that we can also write the sentence. Correct? Now this is logic suppose for example, this is the logic given. That is why sum x all y loves x comma y. Now from which sentence this logic is being written? Yes, what is the meaning of this logic? What is the meaning of first symbol, this one? Yes, all of you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Huh. Now tell me from which sentence this logic can be written. What is the meaning of this logic? What is the meaning of this first symbol?
Sum x
Sum x. Second,
all y.
all y. Now loves is the predicate, and then again we have the x comma y. Now what can be the sentence from which this kind of logic can be written? That is my question. कुठल्या सेंटेन्स वरून हे लॉजिक लिहिलं गेलं असेल? Yes.
So third one,
Yes.
sum x all y is not same as sum y or all x.
No, what I am asking, what is the sentence? For what particular sentence this logic is written? As already last time what we have seen, from sentence we have written the logic. For particular sentence we have written the logic, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now from given logic, you also have to form the sentence, correct?
Yes. So sentence नीचे दिया है ना, there is a person who loves everyone in the world.
And that is I am asking now. That is I am asking what kind of sentence might be there from which this kind of logic can be written. So even below is given, then also you could not able to tell me. I am asking from the last 2 minutes. Correct? Yes. Got the sentence?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now what we are trying to prove? We are trying to prove this third sentence. Okay, now for example, here we have just for this part, we have written this sentence. Okay. Now we will write these in another way. Like if I write these like this, here we have written the sum x all y. Here we have written the all y sum x. Now what is the meaning of this sentence? And what is the difference between these two? Now what sentence will be from this logic? Just like from this logic, we have got this logic is written for this sentence. In the similar way, you can see this logic is written for this sentence, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, does the meaning of these two sentences is same?
No, sir.
No, because second logic gives us the sentence like this. Like here you can see all y sum x loves x comma y means what? Everyone in the world is loved by at least one person. Or you can also write in the another way, everyone in the world is loved by some person. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is a different meaning of this sentence and this sentence. Correct? These two sentences are having the same meaning or the different meaning?
Different meaning.
Different meaning.
Different meaning.
That is the reason
Yes.
this property. So here we have proved this property. Correct? Got this property?
Yes, sir.
So that is
Yes,
here
sir.
I
Yes,
have,
sir.
that is the reason we have written here. Like sum x all y is not same as all y sum x, and that is the proof or the example for this particular property is this example you can refer. Then another important property related with the quantifier is the quantifier duality. okay, quantifier duality. Now here, what is the quantifier duality? We can see each expression can be expressed using some other expression. Each particular expression can be expressed means what? Suppose you have expressed some, or you have represented some sentence using one quantifier, then that sentence can be represented using the another quantifier. That is the meaning of duality operator, by keeping the meaning same. Let's see. All X likes X comma ice cream. Now you tell me the sentence which will be formed from this logic. All of you can able to see this logic?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me the what kind of sentence will form from this.
Everyone likes ice cream.
Exactly, everyone likes the ice cream,
Ice
or
cream.
Right.
all likes the ice cream. It can be also
Yes,
possible.
all like
Correct.
ice cream.
Now what we are trying to say here is this kind of logic can, now this logic is written using the which quantifier?
Universal.
Universal. Now is this possible to write the same logic using the existential quantifier? Can you write the same logic using the existential quantifier?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What can be it?
The next to it,
You
it's
can see
given
here, like for all x, we can write the negation of some x. Yes or no?
some X, right?
It is, its meaning is here likes. You can write the negation of likes. Correct. Here likes is written. Here you can write the negation of likes.
Yes, sir.
And next part as it is. These both of these logic are the same, but are represented using the different quantifier. Correct.
Yes, sir.
And that is called as the quantifier duality. Means what? Each quantifier can be expressed using the other quantifier. And that is called as the quantifier duality. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Let's see the another example for this. Now see this. What will be the expression for this? What will be the sentence will form from this logic?
Some eggs like broccoli.
X is what?
Person.
Any person. You can say someone likes the broccoli. Correct.
Yes, sir. Someone. Yes, right.
Someone likes the broccoli. Now,
Yes,
is
sir.
it possible to write? Now, this is being written using the existential quantifier. Now, is it possible to write it is in the universal quantifier? Yes, it is being written like this. Like for some x, we have written the negation of all x. This is this particular logic, and this particular logic is same or not?
Same.
Same. And another way, another next part, likes x च्या ऐवजी आपण काय येणार? Negation of likes. Negation of like is nothing but the like. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And this is, and for this particular logic, logic being written here using the existential quantifier. Now this can be also written using the universal quantifier, and that this is nothing but our property, that is the quantifier duality. Understood this property?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see the next part. Now, as in case of the proposition logic, also we have seen the inferences in the case of the proposition logic. Same here also we are having the inferences in case of the FOL, or the inferences in case of the first order logic. Now, already we have discussed the what do we mean by the inference. Concept of the inference is nothing but what? Inference in the FOL is nothing but the getting the some new facts from the old facts, or getting the some new sentence from the existing sentences. Okay, now for that we have some rules. Now, before we understand some rules or the inference rules related to the FOL, first we understand some basic terminologies, simple basic terminologies. In that we have the first basic terminology, that is the substitution. Now, all of you must be aware of the concept of the substitution. Okay, so substitution is the fundamental operation performed in the terms and the formula. What is being terms that already last lecture we have discussed. If you want to write the FOL, it follow the particular syntax like the predicate followed by the terms, and your terms can be a function and the function can be your constant or the variables. Now this substitution in it's a part of the different kind of inferences rule that we are going to discuss in the FOL. So, and it is this particular, what you can say, the terminology we are going to utilize while we are going to discuss the rules of the inference using the quantifiers in case of the FOL. Now, simply, if you write the particular expression like this, or this is the function f of a by x. Now, what is its meaning? F of a by x, it simply means that substitute a constant a in place of x. That is the simply meaning of this, and that is nothing but the substitution. Correct? If I have a function like this, f of a by x, then its meaning is what? Substitute the constant a on the place of the variable x. That is simply the meaning of this particular function, which indicate the substitution terminology. Understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because this we are going to require when we are going to see the next concept like the unification and the resolution part. That is the most important part in case of the FOL. So that is nothing but the substitution, which is simply meaning substituting some constant on the place of the some variables. Okay, that is the substitution. Then the equality. Okay, as in case of the FOL, we just not use the predicates and the terms for making the atomic sentences, but also we use the equality terminology also. And for this, we use the equality symbol like this. Okay, this is nothing but the equality symbol. Correct? In case of the FOL, we have the equality symbol like this. Okay. Now, for example, if you have the logic like this, now from which particular sentence this logic must have written? Yes.
John is brother of Smith.
Exactly. John is the brother of Smith. Now here this particular symbol is nothing but our equality. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Understood. Now this can be written in another way also. Still its meaning will remain same. Another way means on the place of John we can write the Smith, and John can be written here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, still its meaning remain the same. Okay, and this is nothing but the called as a equality operator or equality property. Okay, I am getting the noise from somebody. Yes. Okay. So this is the second terminology that is the equality. Okay, which is being we have seen here. If you want to show something which are similar, okay, then it can be shown like this, as you can see in this example with this kind of particular symbol. Okay, that is equal to. So as in the above example, we can see the object referred by the brother John is similar to the object referred by the Smith. Now, if you want to utilize it to show the some particular negative things, okay, then equality symbol can be also used with the negation. Okay, that represent that two terms are not the same object. For example, if you have written like this, negation of x comma y, this can be also written using the equality equality operator with the negation, and this is being written like this. Both of these things are the similar. Negation of x equal to y is similar to the x not equal to y. Understood?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
So we can use the equality to show the some what you can say a particular this similar part also, and we can also utilize negation. We can also utilize the equality to show the some particular part which contain the negations also. Okay. Now let's come to our main point, that is nothing but the inference rule in case of the FOL for the different kinds of quantifiers. Okay. As in case of the proposition logic, we have the inference rule. In the similar way, we have the inference rule in the FOL. Now, these are the 4 inference rules which we are going to discuss in case of the FOL. Now, these inference rules are very much important in order to discuss the further part, which is number of times being asked in the exam. Our next part is nothing but the unification algorithms and the resolution. Okay, these are the most important part remaining in this chapter, in this unit. And now we have the inference rule, like the universal generalization, then the universal institution, which is also called as the universal elimination also. There is another word for the universal institution, that is the universal elimination. Third, we have the existential introduction, which is also called as the existential generalization also. And last one, we have existential institution, which is also called as the existential institution or existential elimination also. Now let's see it one by one with example so that we can get the clear concept. Now here, first one, we have the universal generalization. Okay, what we have the first one, that is the universal generalization. Let's understand the technical point for this and then we see the example. A universal generalization is the valid reference rule or valid inference rule, which state that if the premise P in bracket C is true for any arbitrary element C in the universe of the discourse, then we can have the conclusion as all X Px. Now, what exactly this means? Let's see. What is being written here? If we have the valid inference rule which state that premises P of C. Now, what is this P and what is this C? Now, P is nothing but for the premise, or the P is here for the property. C is what? C is anything. C is any arbitrary element. Here I have written C is what? Any arbitrary element. Arbitrary element in the sense C is the any random object which is present in the universe of the discourse. Universe of the discourse in the sense what? What do you mean by the universe of discourse? Yes. Universe of discourse. So meaning काय? Yes. Last time I have shown you the example that all cats are what? All cat drinks milk. There I have shown the set of all cats in the world like this. Yes. In the previous lecture. So this particular set is nothing but the universe of discourse, or we can simply consider the universe of discourse is nothing but something which is present in the universe or something which is present in the world. Getting the point?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Universe of discourse, simply consider it is a kind of it is a general word or universe. Understood? Now, what is being written here? Inference rule which state that if there is a premise PC is true for any arbitrary element C in the universe of discourse. Key element C or object C is the any arbitrary element in this world. Understood? Then now if it is true, then from that, if this premise is true for this object C, then from that we can have this conclusion. Now what is this conclusion? How we'll read this?
All x premise x.
X, all X premise X. जर हे ट्रू असेल काय? If this premise P of C is true for any arbitrary element in the universe of discourse, P of C is true for any arbitrary element C in this world. Okay. Then from these we can, and if it is true, from this we can have the conclusion all X of Px. Now this particular definition of the universal generalization is being written like this. Now what exactly mean by this? Let's understand. Okay. Suppose, let's see, as I said here, for a universal generalization is a valid inference rule which state that if there is a premise P of C. Now we consider the premise C. The P of C is what? This statement. What statement? A byte contain the 8 bits. All of you can able to see this?
Yes, sir.
A byte contain the 8 bits. This is what? P of C, premises of C. Now if it is true, then from that we can have this. If it is true, from that we can have conclusion like this. Now what do you mean by this? आता ह्या sentence वरून, can you tell me the sentence which will from this?
All byte contains 8 bit.
Now premises of C is what? A byte contain the 8 bits. Correct?
Hmm.
Now
Yes,
from
sir.
these, the inference can be made like this. All x of px means what? From this we can reach to the conclusion all byte contain the 8 bits. It is also true,
Yes.
yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If single byte contain the 8 bits, then all bytes can also contain the 8 bits.
Yes, sir.
Understood? So that is nothing but this rule of the universal generalization. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Now what we are trying to say using this rule? What we are trying to say using this rule, can anybody tell me? What we are trying to say from this rule? Now this rule simply saying is what? This rule state that, or using this, what we want to say, every element has a similar property, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If a byte contain the 8 bits, then whatever number of bytes in this word, in the universe of discourse, correct?
Yes, sir.
Whatever number of bytes in this universe of discourse, then each of these bytes also contain the 8 bits. That is the we are trying to say using this rule. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Understood the universal generalization rule?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see the next one, that is the universal institution, or which is being also referred as universal institution, is also referred as universal elimination, and it is the valid inference rule. Let's see how it is valid. Okay. Now what it rule state, that just that we understand first. This universal institution rule state that we can infer any sentence premises of C. What we can infer? We can infer any sentence premises of C by substituting a ground term C from all x px for any object in the universe of discourse. Now simply meaning of this rule is nothing but the inverse of our previous rule. In the previous rule, what we have done? In the previous rule, what we have done? Yes. In the universal generalization, what we have done? From this kind of things which is given as a true, we have obtained these things. In short.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Same thing we have done now. If the premise of C is given like this, then from this we have obtained this and this sentence. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Means from this given premises of C, from this given premises of C, we have obtained this part. Correct? So that is why it is being represented like this. Now its next part, next rule, inference rule, that is the universal institution, which is also referred as the universal elimination. Now what it is, why it is being called as a universal elimination, we will see that. First understood the what exactly rule is. Now here what we are doing, we have given this. If it is true, then from that we are going to obtain this. Getting now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
What we have given, let's see. Now universal institution rules state that we can infer any sentence. We can infer in the sense what? We can make the inference, we can make the conclusion for any sentence PC, PC in the sense, P of C in the sense, premises of C, by substituting a ground term C from all x px for any object in the universe of discussion, in the universe of discourse. And this is being written like this. Means what? If you have given this particular sentence as a true, for example, let's see, this means what? For example, I write the sentence like this: every person likes ice cream. That is nothing but this part. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Every person likes the ice cream. I just write it in the form of the premise. Okay. For every this part, person, this part. If this is part given, if this is given like this statement we have given, every person likes the ice cream. Now from this we can do the inference. From this we can infer that, we can infer this part. Now this particular part, with the help of our actual logic, can be written like this. Yes or no? See here. हे रिप्रेझेंटेशन आपण असं लिहू शकतो की नाही?
Yes, sir.
काय? every person like the ice cream for all x, for all,
Person X.
if the x is a person, then x like the ice cream. Correct?
Yes, sir.
हेच फक्त आपण एक जनरलाइज फॉर्म मध्ये लिहितो. But its actual logic for this sentence can be written like this. Correct? Now from these, what inference we can made using this rule of universal institution? Now from this rule, according to the rule of universal elimination, if we have given this kind of logic, from this we can do the inference. What kind of inference we can do? That inference is nothing but like this. Now you just tell me, from this given inference, from this given part, we can infer this part.
Yes, sir.
From this information, can we infer this part according to this our rule of the universal institution or rule of the universal elimination? Now what difference you are observing in this part and this part?
There are all person and there is a John
आणि खाली
and
फक्त John. Only John.
John आहे फक्त.
John कशाच्या जागेवर लिहिलं आपण? For on the place of what we have substitute the John?
X.
X,
That is the one difference. Another difference is what?
इथे युनिव्हर्सल यूज केलंय सर. खाली युनिव्हर्सल.
इथं युनिव्हर्सल यूज केलंय, खाली युनिव्हर्सल नाही. तर मग that is nothing but our rule of the universal institution, means what, which is also referred as the universal elimination.
Elimination.
म्हणजे आपण इथं काय इलिमिनेट करतोय?
Universal
आपण eliminate करतोय. And now you might be asking for what purpose it is required. Now this is required in the resolution concept. This particular part we are going to refer in the concept of what? Resolution. Now what actually mean by the resolution, that we'll see when we see that topic. You are getting the point?
Yes, sir.
You just understood what exactly these inference rules are. Understood? So this rule of the universal institution or rule of the universal elimination says that from given these particular kind of things, or logic, we can infer this particular sentence. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Same thing I have written. The rule of the universal institution state that we can infer any sentence like premises of C. How? By substituting a ground general term. Now, what is the ground general term here? What substitution we have done?
Universal.
Substitution. What ground general term we have utilized here? Universal institution says that we can infer
P of C.
here. From these, we have got this according to this rule.
Yes, sir.
What I am asking, what ground general term we have utilized here? As in the rule, what is being said? Rule C said what? Universal institution rule state that we can infer any sentence premises of C by substituting a ground general term. इथं आपण in order to get these from these, have you done any kind of substitution?
John.
No substitution done. आपण ह्या सेंटेन्स वरून हे सेंटेन्स वी हॅव गॉट, तर हे in order to get that whether we have performed any kind of substitution or not.
आपण X च्या जागी John ला घेतले सर.
So that is I am asking na. We have performed the substitution,
Yes, sir.
and that is nothing but that particular, this is being referred as a substituting a ground term. Understood? Universal state that we can infer any sentence premises of C by substituting any ground term C. Any ground term C means it is not like the John you should write. You can write anything on the place of John, which will be replacing this X. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Understood? And here you can infer any sentence premise C by substituting a ground term C from all X of Px for any object in the universe of discuss. This part we have given, and from that this part we have infer this part by substituting any ground general term, or by substituting here on the place of X we have substituted the John. You can substitute any name that you want. Understood? And this is nothing but the rule of the universal elimination, or the rule of the universal institution, where when you are applying this rule, the statement you will get from these, it should be by eliminating these universal quantifier. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the second inference rule, that is the universal institution and the universal elimination. Now another example related with this we have, as you know, universal institution or the universal elimination rule is represented like this, which indicate if this is given, if this information is given, from that we can obtain this information, or from if this information is given, from this we can infer this information. Let's see the another example. For example, I have a statement: all kings who are greedy are evil. What? All kings who are greedy are evil. Now, what will be the FOL for this sentence? FOL will be what? First order logic for this sentence will be first we have to start with what? All.
All.
For all, I have written the all X.
Universal.
Universal quantifier we have to utilize. All kings. That's why the king X
Kings is
who are greedy. That's why I written here and greedy X. All kings who are greedy are evil, means it is example related to the universal institution or universal elimination. For example, now universal institution rules is being represented like this, which simply means what? If this information is given, all X of Px, now from that we can obtain this information. Okay, premises of C, where C is the any arbitrary element of this world. Now, for example, we are given the sentence like this. All of you can able to see the sentence.
Yes, sir.
What is the sentence? All kings who are greedy are evil. Now, what will be the FOL for this?
Universal quantifier X.
Universal quantifier X, then
Kings. King.
king. For all
X.
X, if X is a king, correct?
Hmm.
For all X, if X is a king, then that
Yes.
king is greedy.
Yes.
That's why and greedy X. Greedy
X.
कोण आहे? King. म्हणून X, म्हणून greedyच्या in front of the greedy in bracket X, correct?
X. Yes, sir.
All kings who are greedy are evil. Means which is implying something.
Yes, sir.
जे किंग आहेत ते greedy आहेत आणि that all kings who are greedy are evil. So that's why implication, when you are writing the universal quantifier, what we have to utilize? Implication. All kings who are greedy are evil. Who are evil?
Kings.
King.
Kings.
So X is for the king. So for all X, if X is a king and X and king is greedy, that's why X greedy, then it implies that he is evil also. Okay. Now this is the FOL. Now how it can be converted, or from this information, how we can obtain the information, or how we can infer the another information according to the rule of the universal institution, or according to the rule of the universal elimination. What we have to do according to this rule? Now from this,
Replace the X with any name.
yes, replace the X with any name.
Remove.
And second thing, remove the
Remove
universal quantifier.
universal.
So same, I have king John
John.
and greedy John, evil John. आता इथं आपण म्हणजे its meaning is what we have infer that king can be a John can also be king. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the similar way, you can write in another way also. King, we are inferring the Richard is the king. He is greedy, and that's why he is the evil. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing but the rule of the universal institution in case of the what we are discussing, the inference rule of the quantifier. Now let's see the third one, existential introduction, or which is also called as existential generalization. आपण first rule कुठला बघितला होता? Which first rule we have studied? First rule of the inference. Universal generalization. Now it is simply what? Existential generalization, which is also the valid inference rule in case of the FOL. Now what exactly it states? See, this rule states that if there is some element C in the universe of discourse, what if there is some element C in the universe of discourse which has a property P, then from that we can infer that there exists something in the universe which has the property P. What if there is some element in the sense what? Single element, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In the universe of discourse which has a property P, or which has the premises of P, then from that we can infer there exists something in the universe which has the property P. Means what? Like C, there can be a more something in the world which has the property P. Is this the meaning it is representing? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now same thing we have written, means if this is being given, if this information is given, this information is nothing but the meaning of our this part. Which part? This part. This rule said that if there is some element C in the universe of discourse which has a property C, it is being written like this. Getting now? His definition
sir.
आपण इथं एक logical form मध्ये लिहिली. If there is some element C in the universe of discourse, which has a property P. This is being written like this, P of C, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then from that we can infer that there exists something in the inverse of, from that we can infer that there exists something in the inverse of discourse. There exists something in the inverse of discourse can be written like this.
Existential quantifier.
Yes, which has the property P, which is being written fully like this. There exists something in the inverse of which has the property P, means what? From this we can obtain this. That is the meaning of this. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's say the example, what exactly it means. For example, I write we have the sentence, Priyanka got good marks in English. What? Priyanka got good marks in the English. Is our P of C? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
आपण लॉजिकल याच्यामध्ये लिहिलं नाही ते, फक्त ऍज अ जनरल स्टेटमेंट लिहिलं. यू कॅन राईट इन द लॉजिकल फॉर्म ऑल्सो. This is our P of C, which is what is that? Priyanka got good marks in English. Now, according to this existential generalization or existential introduction, from this, what sentence we can get?
Someone got good mark in
Someone
English.
got good marks in the English. And that is nothing but this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that is nothing but our third rule of inference, that is the existential introduction. Understood? Existential introduction in simply means we are utilizing the symbol of existential quantifier. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And existence now next is our existential elimination or existential institution. See, last rule is what? Existential institution. Now this existential institution is also called as existential elimination, which is the valid inference rule in the FOL. Now let's see what exactly this rule says. Now these rules state that we can infer P of C from the formula given in the form of all of x of P of x for any new constant symbol C. आता previous याच्यामध्ये आपण काय केलं होतं? From in the previous example, what we have, it is just the reverse of our previous.
Yes, sir.
Correct. If this is being given,
Then
okay,
use
this
the
form,
P
then
of
from that we
premises
get
of-
this.
Yes, sir.
Simple mean. So now let's see it with the example. Now let's see the example here. Simple example we have taken. Now this existential elimination is represented like this. Okay. Now suppose here I have the example statement written like this. There is at least one crown on the head of John. This is statement, general statement given. आता याच्यासाठी FOL आपण कसं लिहू शकतो? There is at least आलं म्हणजे कुठलं क्वांटिफायर यूज करावं लागेल आपल्याला?
Existential.
So can I write like this? For some x, if x is a crown and that crown is on the head of John, x comma John on head, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now from this part, what we'll get according to the rule of the existential elimination or the existential institution? What we can infer from this? Yes. According to this, what it says, if this is being given, if this information is given, we can obtain this information. Now, for
Yes,
example, here we have taken this part is nothing but is being represented like this statement, correct? And this statement using the FOL you can write like this also. Now, according to the existential institution or according to the existential elimination, what we can infer? What will be the inference of this statement or this statement? Existential elimination means what we have to do?
Remove existential quantifier.
Remove the existential quantifier. Same ना, जे आपण युनिव्हर्सल इलिमिनेशन किंवा युनिव्हर्सल इन्स्टिट्यूशन मध्ये बघितलं तेच इथे हिअर फक्त सिम्बॉल इज डिफरंट. करेक्ट ऑर नॉट?
Yes, sir.
So from these you can see here for this particular given logic we can infer the logic from these according to the rule of existential institution like this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What changes you are observing there?
Remove the existent
We have removed
quantifier.
the existential quantifier. That is the first.
Yes, sir.
Then
X is replaced by
We replace the X to K.
yes, means what? Here you can see on the place of X, here we have written the K.
K.
Here also K. Means it says that when you are doing the existential institution or the our first universal institution, which is also called as the universal elimination, we cannot use the same variable in the different logic that we are utilizing. You are getting the point.
Yes.
We cannot use
Yes.
the same symbol or same variable. Understood? And that is we are doing here. Now this part we are going to refer when we are going to study the concept of the resolution. The same thing we are doing here. That is the existential institution. We are removing this particular existential quantifier, and this if there is some variable there, this variable we are replacing with some another variable. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so this particular variable we are introduced here, this K variable, this is also called as a Skolem constant. Now, because understood. So above K is a constant symbol, which is called as a Skolem constant. Case use केला पाहिजे असं आहे का? नाही, you can utilize the anything.
नाही.
Okay, keep this thing in mind.
Yes.
You can use the any symbol, but it should be different from the X.
Yes, sir.
It should be different from the X. Same in case of the all the rules we have studied. Understood? So this is nothing but our rule of the inference of the quantifier. Okay, now this we are going to require to study the further concept. Understood all of you this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next time we will continue with the next part, that is the unification and the resolution part. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.